team, we were discussing about doing like a custom thing with Kinect and utilizing, you know, the movements in order to interact with the vehicle.
Yep.
Could you speak to that about anyone who's done that or the possibilities and how that kind of works with the Xbox?
I'm working on the BMW execution, so I can speak to what we're going to build for this. Is going to be brand new, right? We're going to build a car configurator on steroids, basically, where you're able to actually utilize all of these VDEs that I just showed you are Kinect enabled as well with the launch of the new dash. So you'll be able to use gesture, hover and swipe to be able to, you have a picture of the BMW there and you can select the color and hover over it and then paint the car, right? You'll be able to hover over the door and the door will open. You'll be able to hover someplace else and you can get in the car, that type of thing. Cool. So it's going to be a really, really, really cool execution. Hopefully we'll have the I/O soon and we can get started on it.
To that point, oh, sorry. To that point, just, I work on Kohl's, and a lot of times we're obviously working in retail, we're working with products like wear and stuff like that.
Yep.
Have you guys done anything in the past where you're using actual products and putting them on the user through Kinect and stuff like that? Because it's always been one of the, the barriers for like e-commerce with, a client like that is that people want to touch and feel the product go in and all that. So with a product like that, you're able to kind of see it on yourself and share it with your friends. Is that something you guys have done, something you're going towards?
We haven't done it. Well, actually, we did a one-off in the UK, I believe, and I forget the department store that did it. We've had conversations with advertisers about building those types of experiences. The issue is that those branded destination experiences aren't robust enough to handle something like that.
Okay.
What we would have to do is build what we call an application. So just like Dailymotion has an application, it would be the Kohl's application.
Gotcha.
And someone would go in and install it and download it and would stay there until they deleted it. So yes, we could have the conversation about going to this virtual Kohl's store, and every week we might update the items that are there, and someone could pick it, and we build in the interactivity, and they could, see it on themselves.
Gotcha.
We can do a lot more things within applications than we can through BDEs. Just to level set, it's a $3 million point of entry, and it's probably a 6 to 8 month build. But we can have those conversations. We're having them currently.
So obviously being that it's all digital, the next question at the end of the day comes down to how to measure things, what are we measuring, and things of that nature. Because obviously you went back into KPIs, you want to know the success of it.
Sure.
So what do you guys do on that in that aspect in order to prove that's a successful campaign?
All right, so the first thing is we work with a company called Interpret. We do research studies all the time, and it's a pre-post study. There's several different levels that we do. We have a simple one, a standard one, and then a fully baked custom one. But basically we ask about 30 questions pre-campaign, and then we poll post-campaign. And every single time we do one, we see lifts in key things like brand recommendation, brand awareness, things like that. So we can bring that to...
They're all served here? They're all served through the console?
No, it's not served through the console. It's an online. And I can get you more information on how that methodology actually works.
It's linked through the Windows Live IPA.
No, it's a pool of folks that have opted in to be part of the survey. Yeah, it's a panel.
Gotcha.
It's a survey.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Custom panel.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one. So with regard to metrics that we report in the dash, we report impressions delivered, we report CTR. We just released this morning a time spent metric, so we'll be able to tell you how long somebody hung out in their BDE. We report uniques on a monthly basis. We report downloads of content, be it video or themes or gamer picks. If you're giving away downloadable content for a game, we report that. We also have quartile reporting in video in some areas. Quartile reporting on a click-to-video execution, where you hit the button and you watch the long-form trailer.
Yep.
And then we also have, I didn't touch on this, this is another way that you can message in the platform. Hopefully, I don't have to install this. All right, I'll install this. We have, for the first time ever, pre-roll and interstitials within content on Xbox Live, right? So if you download today and you engage with the application, browse through the content, see what you want to view. Say it's Matt Lauer talking about, I don't know, whatever he talks about. You could have a pre-roll before that content, and if the content's long enough, you could have an interstitial with it. There are about 7 applications that we can do that in right now.
And those are all free, I suppose.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they're all, one of them is UFC, obviously they're about selling the fights, but the pre-rolling interstitial comes from the free content that's wrapped into the application as well, like recap shows and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. So that's another way to message with the platform.
Got you. Sorry, I'm like throwing a ton of questions out there. So
Did I completely answer your last one? I think I might have gotten off track.
Yeah, no, you got it. Okay, good. So I guess my last question again is just talking about the flow of when you look at the purchase funnel and all that, and you get people who see the brand or whatever. And how do you then get them? Are you doing anything in terms of lead gen, in terms of actual purchase through the interface, things of that nature?
So in the halls of Redmond, the e-commerce conversation is going on now. We have not enabled e-commerce in a traditional retail sense. Obviously, there's a ton of e-commerce that happens on. I mean, this is a $1.5 billion business.
And that's all through the Windows Live accounts?
Everyone who logs into Xbox Live has a Windows Live ID. Mm-hmm. That's how we do a lot of our targeting with regard to those BT targets that I talked about before. But there's a two-way transaction. There's a whole marketplace in here as well that you can go and we talked about the video marketplace. There's an avatar marketplace, music marketplace. So a lot of e-commerce happens there. About $500 million per year at $2, $3, $4 a pop. We haven't opened that up to retail yet. We're trying to figure out how to do it, right? Because it would almost be like Amazon opening up their subscriber base or their community to a third party, and we got to figure out how that works. Does Microsoft take a transaction off the top, or So guys that are 10,000 feet above me are trying to figure that out. I'm told within the next year and a half, we might have a roadmap and be able to enable e-commerce. That being said, some things that we can do to get into the let me back up. Xbox Live, I'll be 100% honest, and Forthright is really a branding play. Mm-hmm. It really is. That being said, there are some things that we can do to try and get into that lead gen metric, right? We can do an RFI, where somebody requests an email for more information. Within that email message, there could be more CRM features where people opt in, right? We can do that. We can drive to the mobile device via an in tag or a short code. There are some things that we can do on our Facebook wall, right? So if the like is really, really important to you, we could do a cross promotion between the Xbox Facebook page and whatnot. That's really kind of the extent of it. We could build a mobile app for you that, imagine a retail Foursquare application just for a retail partner, right? So check in when you're in Dunkin' Donuts and get 10% off a cup of coffee. Something like that. We could build a mobile app and then drive from the BDE to download the mobile app, right? Other than that, there's not a ton of lead gen that we do.
Gotcha. I think this is great. The e-commerce thing sounds awesome and interesting. What else, if you could give us any insight into your product roadmap, what else is in that 1 to 5 years down the road that is really exciting, that's got people sort of losing sleep over right now?
Well, I can't speak to 5 years down the road, but I can speak to 2012 if my computer decides to come back on. Several things, and I'm going to show you them on here.
How's that arm holding up?
It's a little tired. But I know.
I think we can cut the interview part off now. I think we'll have enough content.